Welcome to Not Like This. Not Like This. From professional wrestling, horror films, and everything in between. Strap in. And now your hosts, Dale Zawada and Jim Snedeker Jr.
Jim, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Who is the screenwriter
of
the 13th?
Friday the 13th. Victor Miller.
Fuck Victor Miller.
Why? What did he do?
I went on Twitter because I was gonna add Victor Miller. I was gonna do a follow. I was gonna do an old fashioned follow of Victor Miller, and one of the first things that popped up was hashtag fuck Victor Miller, and I said, "What the hell is going on?" Do you have a guess of why fuck Victor Miller would be like a trending hashtag?
Yes, 100%. He's part of the reason that we haven't had a Friday the 13th because he's trying to get his rights back from Sean Cunningham.
And people are pissed. I had it was a sad day when they because that game shut down. No? Yes, it exists, but there's no updates or something.
The game, for a while it was, okay, we're on hold because of this lawsuit, but the game is still here, it's still out, we'll update it. They added some characters that he didn't create, like the biker chick from part 3.
Sure.
You know, he's got no claim on her. So that's what we got. And like Tommy was already in the game. Then it was we're just gonna the game's just done. It's over. So now then it was we're not gonna update it or change anything ever again. And now I believe as of right now that it's just a dead game. The servers are dead.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I didn't know that last part. Yeah, last I was up to speed was the no updates, which is like, all right, like there was a time before DLC was even a thing. You just had the game and that was it. So it was nice that they were adding things and tweaking stuff, but
yeah,
damn, it's dead.
I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't looked into it, but I probably should, especially with all the things on the horizon. I wouldn't be surprised if there is some way for a fan to run their own server. I don't just mean host a server. Like when you go on Overwatch and you say, I'm going to host a server, you're really like leasing some space with Overwatch, Blizzard's servers. Like you're not literally hosting a server. Whereas back in the day, Counter-Strike and all those games, like you were hosting the game on your computer and people were connecting over the internet to your machine as the server. I wouldn't be surprised if there is some way a fan has figured out to just like, oh, well, I'm running like this hacked together phony server. I'll give you an example. World of Warcraft, before Classic came out, there were like rogue World of Warcraft servers that were the OG, World of Warcraft because fans wanted to play that. So they just like hosted it themselves. And also with this being a dead game, I can't see anyone getting mad about it or taking it down or even finding out. It wouldn't be, that was newsworthy because you're going up against Blizzard Activision. This would be like this small developer who's not going to deal with this game anymore and you're just playing it on your own. So I'll look into that.
Victor Miller will fucking find you.
Here's the
get
thing,
you.
His case has nothing to do with the game. Like the game is allowed to exist as it is right now, as long as nothing gets updated. So
I don't know why they killed the servers though. Why they did that
my guess is, they raised enough money to make the game, but to keep the lights on. So, like I was saying, Counter-Strike back in the day, if you wanted, there were no Valve servers. First of all, it was a mod originally. So forget about Valve. It was, you had a Linux server somewhere. Maybe it was at your house if you had a static IP, but you probably paid a hosting company. And instead of hosting a website, you hosted a Counter-Strike server. And then people would browse for a Counter-Strike server on the internet, find yours, and connect to it. But you were paying. It used to be like you could like have a membership to a clan, and you all pitched in together to pay to keep the server up because you got to pay. Got to pay for that. Well, the trend moved away from that toward games where the developer has all the servers. They host all of the servers. But then you have to have servers, and it costs money to keep you got to keep the lights on. And I'm imagining without being able to sell any more DLC, and then you can't get new people into the game when they know it's going to die or it's going to be frozen. And then, so it was probably just a revenue thing is my guess.
That's probably the risk of just any sort of small developer publisher. It's like, oh, they're making a Friday the 13th game. That's great. It's like, who is it? Some no-name guys. It's like, oh, longevity fears at that point. Right. At least that's what I'm going to have moving forward because of what has occurred with this one.
It never used to be an issue when everything switched to Steam for Counter-Strike. You could still run the old 1.5 server on your own. There are still 1.5 servers out now, 1.3 servers that you can just host it yourself.
Huh.
And so it should be theoretically possible for someone to, like, if I were the developers and I worked really hard on this and it was no fault of the fans that I stopped making money off this game, I would accidentally give it all away to somebody to host themselves. Yeah.
Whoops, I got hacked and it's out there. Whoops. Yeah, people were going pretty hard at Mr. Victor Miller. I do want to read a couple of these tweets because they had me dying.
Oh, no.
This is from Dracula Has Risen. Daily reminder to Vic Miller that you, sir, are a cunt-tater at the end of your pitiful rope. Hashtag fuck Victor Miller.
Man.
That's just the start, baby. This is
just harsh.
They're all pretty harsh, and it's a video game, guys. Fucking relax.
Oh, is that what they're pissed about the game?
Yeah. Okay. So this one says, "Thanks for killing my favorite game, dickhead. Fuck Victor Miller. Imagine being such a hack and worthless leech that you halt an entire franchise based on a deluded belief that the world owes you." At Friday the 13th game, hashtag fuck Victor Miller. Imagine is this not the same person? They both begin with imagine. Imagine being as spiteful as Victor Miller, taking a game away from thousands who love and cherish it. You should be ashamed. Hashtag I stand with gun. Hashtag fuck Victor Miller. Two more here. One's really mean and one's actually kind of nice. You crusty old fuck. Nobody liked you. You and your tattoos can fuck right off. Fuck Victor Miller. And this last one, this is from Mrs. Voorhees. This is from Lynn Berardini. To tear something away from me that made my life worth all the stress, pain, and struggling depression is just completely and utterly disgusting. I've made more friends on at Friday the 13th game than in any other part of my life. Jason deserves better. Hashtag fuck Victor Miller. Like that one was actually kind of sad. Oh man, like it's like when they pulled the SOCOM servers and I was like, gosh, my people are gone.
Yeah, it's so from what I recall though with Zerner Law at Larry Zerner, he's got two handles. He's got his private and his law one. So Larry Zerner, we'll just recap quickly for people who maybe don't know. Well, I'm sure they don't know, but maybe they heard it before. He played. Why can't I think of his goddamn name now? He was in Friday the 13th Part 3.
Shelley.
He was Shelley. Yeah, he played Shelley. He became a like entertainment lawyer. It's like copyright, all that stuff.
You need those.
And he's been updating us on the case. And there's just really no updates right now. There is a different case pending about something else entirely related to Friday the 13th. But this Zerner one is not. So from what the point of this was, what we gleaned from what Larry Zerner was saying is, it sounds like Victor Miller is entitled to what he's going after. Cunningham's trying to say it was a work for hire, which it clearly wasn't, and there's no paper trail to indicate that at all. He's just trying to
and that's bullshit, because even the script, which, by the way, the first 10 pages, the Friday the 13th episode, that's going to come out next month on Friday the 13th.
Oh,
you can tell, like, this wasn't like, hey, just write me up something, and if it works out, I'll do it. Like, they were clearly in cahoots. Like there's sentences like, the theme kicks in. Ain't no screenwriter just gonna fucking put in the theme kicks in.
Yeah. You don't give a shit about the theme. Put that wherever you want.
Collab. Yeah, that was a joint effort. The producers were involved, and he knew what was going to be going on with locations and shit. So yeah, that doesn't track.
Which side? That he wasn't?
That he was just a work for hire guy. Like, it's such a detail that you would only do if you were deep into the production and you had many talks with the producers.
Yeah,
it's not a work for hire. Fuck that. That's bullshit.
Yeah, and it's like, it never is really, unless it's explicit. If you write a screenplay, you write a song, you write a poem, you own that unless there's an explicit document to the contrary. Like, I am writing this and signing all copyright, the publishing and mechanical royalties, everything over to this other company or to this publisher or whatever. So if there's nothing, he's entitled to his copyright claim. What does bother me though, and I thought you were saying fuck Victor Miller because you started reading it and you were like, I can't read this shit. But what does bother me is that he wrote the words Jason Voorhees on a page, but that character that we grew up with has nothing to do with Victor Miller.
True.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, what else?
It's like if I wrote a movie and there was a baby in it, and then you wrote a movie 10 years later where the baby's 30 and is walking and talking and is essentially a different character with the same name. I understand legally it tracks, right? But it's not like he came up with the iconic Jason character in the hockey mask murdering everyone.
But he does get credit for, characters created by Victor Miller. Like, he does get that. Obviously, there was no hulking maniac. There was no machetes or masks in that one, if anything. And it almost, gets him over more than he deserves. Little Jason at the end pulling her into the water. Like, that's as close as we get with that. So unfortunately, he gets that rub, and obviously that was Tom Savini's idea. It's like, let's get one last scare in there, because I read the script, and we do go to the end of the script out of curiosity, see what the fuck's going on back there, and of course it's not in there. It was a Tom Savini. I
love that. You added a wrinkle in here, not legally, but sort of morally, ethically, artistically. You mentioned Tom Savini. That was his idea. Well, he didn't write the movie, whatever, but he, in any respect, created Jason.
More, Victor Miller gets the name. Tom, he has more of, the actual flesh and blood character. He's all like mangled and disfigured and violent and dragging somebody down to kill them. That's Jason. God damn it. That's the character. And Victor Miller didn't have fuck all to do with that.
Right. And like the hockey mask, Jason, wasn't a Tom Savini thing, but think about
correct.
how many
very correct.
Think about how many characters, when you see like characters by blah 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 blah, by as in you wrote a name, and if they're a speaking character, then that's wholly different. Or if you're writing their behavior, what they're doing, you're writing their actions. But you look at the werewolf in America, Werewolf in London, any of these creatures that were designed, like what is iconic to the fans and what the public recognizes is the visual image of the character. And none of these screenwriters wrote any of that. Or maybe they said, oh, he's big or something, but like what we see, Tom Savini made, or Rick Baker made, or Stan Winston made. Like when you see the T-800, you're not like, you might not even think T-800. You just see that image and you go, I know what that is. And James Cameron didn't. Well, that could be a different story with him, but Stan Winston made that.
Yeah,
he's the creator. Well, they don't get any back end juice.
Some bullshit. So Victor Miller, like, he deserves the credit and to get paid for fairly writing Friday the 13th, 1980. He does not get the credit and should not get the credit or any paydays for Jason fucking Voorhees. That's just not fair. If anything, we also get into this next month, you'll see. Friday the 13th, written by Victor Miller, uncredited rewrites by Ron Kurz. Who's Ron Kurz? He wrote Friday the 13th Part 2, where we actually see Jason fucking Voorhees. So if anybody should be getting credit for that, it should be Ron Kurz, who has passed away. So like it's messy. And I didn't start this podcast with the intention of jumping on the bandwagon, but yeah, I think hashtag fuck Victor Miller.
Yeah, maybe. It's hard because from everything I've read, it's also like Sean Cunningham is not like, okay, let's make a deal then.
He's also a bit of a chance.
Right. Like he's got his feet firmly planted in the ground of, nope, you didn't write this as a writer. I hired you to write this and give all the rights to me, which is apparently not true whatsoever. So also, fuck Sean Cunningham.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he could say, okay, all right, let's get this deal done. Now, Victor Miller could also say that, like, well, if you would just give me X amount of dollars, we could make this go away. But I think he knows he's right. Like, if you know you're on the winning side, all of these arguments that Cunningham's attorneys, I guess it's for, what is it, Horror Inc. or something? Like, they have some company.
No, it's Murder Inc.
Baby. So they have presented like, well, if you look at this case and this case, this proves what our defense. And that was one of the other cases. Maybe I can dig it up for next week. But there was another case that is sort of somewhat kind of has to do with this case that they were using as like, oh, look, this is as a precedent for what we're going through now. In case dismissed, we win. And they're like, no, you don't. No. And also, fuck whoever's job. Like, fuck the court, or like, why is this taking so goddamn long for them to make a judgment?
COVID.
Right.
That's what I say. Fuck
yeah,
COVID.
and COVID, all of them.
Like, even on Victor Miller's Wikipedia, he has a whole subsection just called "Based upon characters created by Victor Miller for Jason Voorhees," because that's all you're going to be getting credit for. Because you wrote the first one, and the name's going to live on after that. Let Sean, Vic get this shit straightened out, and let's get this back into the universe here. Halloween's doing stuff, and they're always talking about doing Nightmare and all. Okay, come on, like it's a timeless character.
If you like really look at it, imagine if Halloween the movie, only 6-year-old Michael Myers is what we saw in the beginning, and then part 2 was him as 21-year-old Michael Myers as the Shape with the white mask on, and trying to argue that that's like I made that. I created that. Like, that is not the same thing.
It's really not. So basically, what Rob Zombie wanted to do,
Yeah.
he wanted to do 2 movies. The first one was just Child Michael. Hack.
Yeah. Like, it seems like something that the court just never had any forward vision. Well, not the court, but like the legislating of these copyright laws. Like, well, I created this character. Like, what does that mean? Oh, I wrote a name down in a book. Like, that's the character? You wrote a name down? His mom said a name once? He's literally has, like you said, Tom Savini said, let's have him pop out of the water, which means we don't have, the only characterization we get from Victor Miller is he wasn't a very good swimmer, and that's it. We don't know what he looked like. We don't know anything else about him. They could just make a Friday the 13th and don't say his name.
Like that guy, the coded individual.
Put the hockey mask on him. What does that mean? That means, well, I'm sure like the image of that Part 3 mask is trademarked by Horror Incorporated or whatever, Bloody Ink or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
And that's a visual trademark. That's got nothing to do with copyright or Jason's name. So just fucking make a Friday the 13th. Don't say Jason and have him run around with a hockey mask. Do you have to say Jason at this point? If you made Space Jam and put Michael Jordan in it and didn't say his name, are people gonna be like, who the fuck? Who's that guy playing basketball though? Put the 23 on him, like I didn't say his name. Just put a number on him.
Exactly. I was just gonna say like Jordan in those games.
Oh yeah. In the games,
player.
See, they were so shitty back then that you couldn't argue like that's my likeness. Like that's not anyone's likeness. That's a stick figure.
You are not 3 pixels. So.
Right. Ooh, very interesting. But honestly, I don't know the guy. He could be a complete dickhead too, but I don't say fuck Victor Miller. I say just pay the guy. Let's go. But they want to be right, and they're not going to be. Maybe they're trying to drain him. Maybe they're just trying to, we keep this going long. We have more money. We'll keep this going long enough, and he'll give up.
Oh, man. It's a couple of stubborn sons of bitches.
You could write a movie about the Friday the 13th battle and then say, I created Victor Miller.
Jason
so I
own Jason.
Yeah, I own the copyright to Jason. Hit him with that Inception shit.
What do you think his tattoos are like? Fuck your tattoos.
That's a good question. I gotta look this up. Victor Miller tattoo. This is not like an athlete or something named Victor Miller, is it?
I doubt it.
Oh, he's really old. He's got like skulls and snakes and stuff. They don't look too bad.
Okay, so some horror tats.
Yep, for that.
Which is weird.
That movie he wrote that one time.
Yeah, because all he's really got after that is just soap opera stuff. So does he have like an All My Children tattoo somewhere under the snakes?
They're not like they look more cartoony, like more stylized. They don't look menacing, really. Doesn't look like a horror movie convention tattoo at all.
Okay.
Almost like hot rod skulls or something.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. It's a blast. It's a blast.
That's fun. For this old man with his old man tattoos.
It kind of looks like not exactly like, but no, not yet. He I don't know, some like weird Dennis Hopper type character. He's wearing like fingerless gloves in this one picture.
Weird, gross.
In a golf shirt or something. What? He's wearing, okay, he's got like a polo on with a, like the pennies from basketball camp where you put like the red mesh penny on you as like the jersey outside your shirt so you know what team you're on. He's like wearing one of those that's blue and he's got fingerless gloves on but showing you them forearm tattoos, brother.
Sounds like he should be a bartender in Nightmare on Elm Street 2 or something.
Shit.
Having a good old time. All right, let's move on here.
Okay, let's go.
Hashtag it's okay, Victor Miller. Everything's fine, Victor Miller. Halloween Kills. Slowly approaching. Every headline gets my attention. And this one, I read it and I said, I fucking knew it. Because after Halloween 2018, we were fantasy booking left and right. And we said, it makes all the sense in the world. If we're going to have Tommy Doyle, let's get Paul Rudd. It's a weird crossover because that movie's not canon,
right.
but fuck it.
Oh yeah.
But supposedly he was approached to play the role of Tommy Doyle in Halloween Kills. Scheduling wasn't going to allow. He's doing Marvel Ant-Man shit. He doesn't have time to do some bullshit down in Haddonfield.
Look, I don't have time to be in Haddonfield being Tommy Doyle when I'm over here being Ant-Man in the Avengers.
But he did give his blessing to Anthony Michael Hall. They were on set or something like that, and he would just came by and was just like, just got off the phone with Paul Rudd. He gave me his blessing to play this character. Neat. So that's nice that they had a little talk about that.
And that seems like such a good joke too. Like, he's such a funny guy. Like, nobody's waiting for him to call and give his blessing to play this character. He in the worst movie he's ever been in. I just want to. God, I wish I could hear that phone call now. I just want to call and give you my blessing.
Oh, thank you.
It's such making fun of all the other bullshit. Like, I want John Carpenter's blessing before I make a Halloween. Like, I don't give a. Need my fucking blessing. Make a movie.
All right.
Blessing. Oh, that's hilarious. He's my favorite.
Paul Rudd is good shit, pal.
He's good shit, pal.
Oh, man. So, yeah, I think also with Halloween Kills, there was some new pictures out. I've missed this. I've completely missed if there's a new batch of pictures. Did you see any of them?
It's from Total Film
I
magazine.
Guess.
I've seen them on Instagram.
Okay. Looking good?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Some people were mad too, like, oh, I can't believe you're, because like the fan accounts and the those other Instagram accounts are
we fucking saw it. Hashtag fuck Victor. They're lunatics.
They're like reposting the Total Film posts, and then the fans that follow those horror pages are like, you're posting all these spoilers, and they have to say, like, it's, first of all, it's from a magazine that's like an official magazine, and these are just like stills from a different angle of shit you've seen in the trailer already. I'll give you an example. One of the pictures is Allison's boyfriend, the young Lonnie Jr. It's like him and Michael like face to face in the hallway, which we know, like, we see the shot of him with the gun walking down the hallway. This is just like a shot of Michael there. Did you ever think he wasn't going to be face to face with Michael in the hallway? I just assume, we may even see that in the trailer, like the two of them in that hallway, but just not from this angle. And it's lit different and everything. Like, they're specifically, they're not just like still grabs from the movie. They're still photos from the set, and they look really cool.
Neat.
Yeah, they're neat, but nothing new.
Nothing new. So just different angles and stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah, and like, oh, here's Nick Castle and James Jude Law. What's his name?
That's it.
I got it. Nailed it. I'm nailing it.
They're like, we showed you everything in the fucking trailer, so now we just have alternate angles at this point. Lunatics. Goddamn lunatics. But speaking of John Carpenter, somebody gave John Carpenter a call, and you know what he does when somebody calls? He answers the phone. He picks up the phone, says, hello, don't care who you are. You got a question? I'll fucking answer it.
Don't ask me about synthesizers, though. He don't know shit about those.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny. We might have to get into that.
Mm-hmm.
But they had questions for John. Oh, thanks for answering, John. This is Games Radar. We have some questions for you. It's about Snake Plissken and maybe sequels with that sort of deal. And John Carpenter said that he is a character that Kurt Russell. It's Kurt Russell, Jim. He's a character that Kurt is passionately fond of. He convinced him to do the sequel. There's probably a third or maybe even fourth story about Snake. I don't know. if we'll ever make it. but I think he deserves it.
Look, yeah, Snake's a character. There's probably stories about him. I don't know. Is that it? Are we done here, bro? That's hilarious.
So we'll see if old man Snake Plissken pops up in a movie.
So it sounds like his point was Kurt Russell. I wrote the movies and everything, but Kurt Russell is Snake Plissken, and if you want Snake Plissken tidbits, go to him.
Nice. He's like, I don't really claim that as much as Kurt claims that. So if you really want that interview, you got the wrong guy.
Yeah, I haven't really listened to any Joe Rogan in quite some time, but I did see that Quentin Tarantino podcast popped up, and I was listening to that today, and there are certain people where if they're on a show and they get to talk for 3 hours, I gotta listen to them talk for 3 hours. And he gets into Death Proof and Kurt Russell and how that was supposed to be Mickey Rourke.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But he hit him with the Disney trained, because Joe's like, oh yeah, even all the way back to The Thing, and he like named some Disney movie he was in when he was 12. Like even all the way back to this. I remember doing lines at the theater and seeing this as a kid.
I said that kid's gonna be someone.
That was Walt Disney's last words were Kurt Russell.
Save Kurt Russell.
His dying words were Kurt Russell. He had just signed him to some big contract. Did I already tell you this on the show? He signed
I think so, but I did forget about it, so I'm glad to do it again.
He says fucking Walt Disney's last words were Kurt Russell. It was 1966, and he had just signed Kurt to like a 10-movie deal or a 10-year deal or something, and those were his last words, Kurt Russell. Right.
Also, often when somebody's dying breaths when they're being murdered, they call out the person who killed them.
Like 12-year-old Kurt Russell's just murdering him. No, I don't think so.
Oh, big Kurt Russell smile on his face. So yeah, maybe we get a Kurt Russell Snake Plissken movie, and he breaks his arm a bunch of times like Indiana Jones. What the fuck are they doing over there?
I wouldn't even mind because it seems to be common that we're doing these passing of the torch things where the original person's there and they're passing the torch. Man, anything to see him play Snake Plissken again would make me happy. Or Jack Burton or oh god. Can you imagine?
Yes, I can.
So listen to how crazy we're going over Halloween Kills, and rightly so, and how much we love it and talk about it all the time. Imagine my reaction to like some teaser trailer with Jack Burton in it. I would just lose my mind. My head would fucking explode.
Oh yeah. And like I love that movie. Like it's like my love for it would be a 10 on a 10 scale. But some of you motherfuckers, you're sitting at like a hard 13.
Yeah. Yeah,
so like Mike. So as much as I enjoyed the hell out of it, I can only imagine some other folks. I'm like, this is going to keep people alive for another couple years. They're putting the gun down. They're putting the needle down. They're like, all right.
I'll get on the treadmill. I'll stop eating pizza. I'll do whatever it takes, man.
And old man Jack Burton, that works too. That tracks. There's a lot of comedy to be had there. A lot of fun stuff.
And what has he been through? What was his life like?
3 divorces.
Yeah, right. He probably already had 2 in the first movie.
I'd like to see a bit where like every now and then a woman like storms up. He's like, it's my ex. Yeah, and it's a different woman every time because he's been married a bunch of fucking times.
It's like him and 16 illegitimate children are like the new heroes of the movie.
Yeah, he's got like some green-eyed children he's got to save.
Uh-oh, yeah. Yeah,
man.
Cottrell's still around? They could do that. And I think this day and age, because there used to be, first of all, it has achieved like cult classic status. I mean, you can buy Jack Burton shirts and whatnot, and like, I think people that are our generation that are now like actors and things like that, a lot of them grew up with it from the video store and all that. But like in 1998, there was no market for a Big Trouble in Little China sequel. I don't think so. Like Escape from LA didn't really do that great, did it? Did it make a ton of money?
It might have done all right. If you want to do the thing, we can find out.
Yeah, I'll look it up. But
so it must not have done great because they sure as fuck didn't do a third.
Right. And that was a bigger cult classic sci-fi movie. Escape from New York that was a critically acclaimed movie. It was well known. And Big Trouble in Little China was like, you had a bond with people when you loved it because you met so few people that really liked it. And it doesn't even sound like what it is. If I said Big Trouble in Little China back then, people are like picturing some kung fu movie or like a Jackie Chan flick or something. Like Rumble in the Bronx, is that the sequel to Big Trouble in Little China? Doesn't sound like some.
It feels like it.
It doesn't sound like a ghost story action sci-fi adventure.
It does not.
But I think now, my whole point is, I think now, where everything is sort of nicheified and there's a little niche for everything, and we've got all the streaming services, and so many things have made a successful comeback or sequel that probably there just wasn't the bandwidth for it 20 years ago. Like Wet Hot American Summer, the show, like just stuff that just things you never thought you'd see more of. I bring that one up a lot, but it's because I'm bad at thinking of other shit. That would be a cool 8-episode Netflix show.
I'd prefer a movie.
Streaming movie, yeah.
For sure, I'd prefer a movie, but I wouldn't say no to a show. Now, Kurt Russell's not doing a whole lot. I look at his filmography, and he's not one of those guys that has 5 movies a year, maybe 1 per year over the last decade or so. And they're good movies, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Guardians of the Galaxy, Hateful Eight, stuff like that. So get him. Just call him up. Call up John Carpenter, get his number from John. Now you're in. Because John will give you that number. Yeah.
So budget, Escape from LA. 1996.
Yeah, so let me play a guessing game.
Late 1996. So what do you think the budget was for Escape from LA?
Probably something stupid high. I'm going to say 20.
50.
So 20 million. Holy Christ.
$50 million. For
there
reference,
is no way they make that.
For reference, this is 96. Some other big 90s I don't think I don't think inflation went that high in a couple of years, right? But
what do we got?
The Terminator 2, that they shot that in 90, came out in 91, $92 million budget. You remember though, there's that Steven Seagal movie that's got like a $30 million budget, and we're like, hold on, did he just get 25 of that?
It's a good scam. It's a good con. So $50 million budget for Escape from LA, which
here's another one.
Where did that go? There's like the surfing.
I don't know, but like another noteworthy big budget movie of the 90s was Jurassic Park, $63 million.
Yeah.
This was 50.
That was crazy. Is this going to be the movie that killed John Carpenter's Hollywood career?
I think it did. Because the next movie he did. Oh, I didn't even get to the payoff, right?
No, what's let me guess. So budget of 50, made worldwide opening I'm going to say 40. I'm going to give him 40.
I think if it would have only lost $10 million, we would have seen a third one. But it made $25.5 million.
That's half. That's like half.
So his next movie, 1998, John Carpenter's Vampires. Movie I like a lot.
You do?
I do. It's fun. It's a very fun movie.
Terry Silver's in it.
I was going to say, our boy's in it. Terry Silver.
Yeah.
James Woods is himself, as he is in most movies. But it works in that movie. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's like, one of John Carpenter's best. But it's a fun little romp. It's sort of like Jason Voorhees, or Jason Goes to Hell has Crichton Duke, and this has So it's sort of like
James Woods.
It's like a precursor to the supernatural type
Hunter
stuff, right?
And I agree with you. Not that you were leaning that way, but I think that movie would be a lot better and enjoyable. I've started watching it so many times and I can't do it, and it is because of James Woods. If it was anybody else,
hey Padre,
if it was anybody else, it'd be a beloved film.
Banging hookers. That budget significantly lower, $20 million. Made 20.3. So he at least broke even. But this is just from memory, but if I'm remembering correctly, the next thing he did would be Ghosts of Mars. I don't think he did anything in between. Ghosts of Mars 2001, budget $28 million. Okay. Hey, you only lost us. Well, you didn't lose us money. We probably made money on the videos. So this next one, we'll give you $28 million. Ghosts of Mars made 14 million. That may be why we stopped seeing John Carpenter.
They said, go make some music, John.
But yeah, it looks like
learn something about a synthesizer, John.
Escape from LA. It was that has to be the biggest budget. I can't imagine. Let's look up Village of the Damned. Okay, Village of the Damned. 1995. The last, maybe the last movie, if you count theatrical releases, that Christopher Reeve was in, and I think he kills it in that movie. But I'll always have a soft spot for him. $22 million budget for Village of the Damned, made 9.4.
I don't think that's his fault, though.
I
don't think that's his fault, though.
I don't think any of these are his fault, because I think he could have made Escape from LA for $30 million.
Whatever they did with that money was the problem. So, we're talking about, Jack Burton, what if we get a sequel? I was already thinking it would be a huge success if all they did was practical effects. The moment I see some CGI bullshit, you lost me personally. And that's what happened with Escape from LA. They really we've got computers now. And boy, oh boy, they should have returned those computers, because it looks like shit. And that's where the money went, because there's no big names in there. So swing and a miss with the CGI attempts.
Starman. Now that's one I always think, that got good reviews. It's different. It's a departure for him. It's still very sci-fi, but it's a love story. $24 million budget in 1984.
I didn't know that. Wow.
It only made $28 million at the box office. I'm worried that I don't know why I'd be worried, but I feel like I'm going to go all the way back through time, and the only movie he made that made money is fucking Halloween. Oh no. Escape from New York, $6 million budget, made 25.
There we go.
There we go, baby.
He was living off that for a little bit.
And that was after what was it? The Fog? Did he do The Fog?
And yeah. But while you're doing it, since we're playing this game, you got the wiki up. What was the budget and payoff of Halloween?
Oh, that one I almost had from memory. So let's go back a couple, though. So The Thing is the year after Escape from New York, and that's where things start to take a turn.
Really? Because I figured this is going to make so much money.
So $4 million
this
and 20
became popular later. Okay, I'm sorry.
It's $4 million and 20. Or roughly something like that for Escape from New York. So the next year, God, this motherfucker made a movie the next year. So the next year, The Thing comes out, which I love that movie. Another Kurt Russell performance. $15 million budget, $19 million box office.
Okay,
made some money, but
all right,
it's closing the gap. And then the next movie is Starman, and that made like $1 million or something.
How did Starman come out after those movies when it looks and feels like it was his first movie?
Have you seen his first movie?
I thought it was Starman.
No, Starman's legit. That's from the mid '80s. That was a movie when I was a little kid that it was like just imprinted on me. I never associated it as a 3-year-old, and why would I? With like Big Trouble in Little China or Halloween or any of those other things. I was like, oh, it's just this like space movie that Mom likes because it's sweet. The Fog came out in 1980. $1.1 million budget. $21 million.
That'll do it.
And
That'll
Halloween.
get you over.
I haven't looked it up yet, right? I'm going to say Halloween had a $400,000 budget and made like $50 million. Okay, estimated budget 300 to 325. Made 60 to 70 million at the box office. Good Lord. And then the next movie, they give him $1 million budget, and he still knocks it out of the park with that margin. He just blasted that with The Fog. And who wouldn't be all over that, you know? Like, oh, Halloween is this big hit. Like, the Halloween guy's new movie's out. You want to see it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good. Yeah, it's good stuff. His he had some of his movies that made money made a shit ton of money. So I get taking more chances. And like you said, it's not his fault, right? But at the end of the day, it's his baby. And if it doesn't make money, the money guys will just go, your last thing didn't make money. Regardless of whose fault it was, they're not going to admit it was a money person's fault, you know, or the marketing department or something, which it sounds like they didn't have good ones. Just I've never seen the picture in the newspaper, but apparently there's like a drawing of Kurt Russell that looks nothing like Kurt Russell, and it just says, "Who is this man?" And it's like it's supposed to be like an ad to get you hyped for Big Trouble in Little China. They're like, I don't know, who is that man?
Have you seen him? Who is this character? What are we doing? Yeah, that wasn't great.
Assault on Precinct 13. I don't think that ever had like wide release. That was probably like a festival deal. Yeah, because it just has a budget. It doesn't even have box office on here. $100,000 budget. And then the thing he did before that, I always forget the name of it. It was basically like his a student film that he did that was it was like when he I forget the name of the movie now. So it was a student film. I'm going to look it up here. Dark Star, it was called. Yes, Dark Star.
You can see how I confused that with Starman.
Yeah, it's got Star in the name.
Right there.
Dark Star, it's actually pretty cool. It's like visually neat. And I think it was technically his like senior project at USC.
Yes.
83
Why does
minutes.
that look better than Dark?
It doesn't look better, but
I might be confusing both of them, to be honest with you. I will have to take a little deep dive into the John Carpenter filmography. Always a good time.
So Starman is like it's actually a fucking like love story with Karen Allen and Space Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
And Dark Star's like a weird spaceship, like 2001 deal.
Okay. Fair enough. That's very college student. So.
Oh yeah, like THX 1138.
Yep. Yes, sir. Which I have the script for that as well. So many scripts. Love it.
You don't got time to be reading these scripts all the time when I'm over here being Chucky.
Over there being Chucky.
New Chucky trailer dropped.
They did. A real one, not that
full.
20-second bullshit.
A full one.
I don't really want to, break it down too seriously or anything. I watched it. I was like, yeah, this looks like a USA/sci-fi show. Just film quality.
Mm-hmm.
But what was intriguing to me is they were leaning pretty hard into the, is this kid just crazy aspect of it? And that's always been there because people, mommy, the doll's trying to kill me. It's like, you shut up, you little brat, you lying little lunatic.
Right.
But maybe there's something more with this one. I hope. I don't know what I hope. I kind of hope for both because you got to have Chucky. You can't have it was all a dream bullshit. But I do like the psychological aspect too. Torn.
Yeah, I was just about to defend that. I don't think it could possibly be a dream because he doesn't seem to know what he's buying at the garage sale. But now that I'm thinking about it, maybe he does. Like, maybe he sees it and it's like, oh yeah, he remembers that doll. This was that doll that the kid said was killing people. Like, one of them is at this garage sale. I'll buy it. And then maybe it would be possible for him to imagine the whole thing. It is looks pretty gruesome though for like a sci-fi deal.
Certain little clips I said, okay, I see. And some swears, I love my fucking language.
Yep. They're bleeped out on the trailer subtly, but yeah, excuse me. But they'll be there in the show.
It's nice to have Brad Dourif back. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, woo!
Well, you see, this is a Chucky story. Now, it's called Chucky. I would find it hard to believe it's not really him, and they call it Chucky. But that would be your angle anyway.
Mind of Chucky.
It is interesting to me to try and figure out where does this fall in the continuity.
Well, it's going to be a situation where what's canon and what's not.
Was Curse canon?
Curse. What anything that he did, Don Menace, everything that he did, I imagine would be canon. Like Bride, no. Seed, no. But Curse and Cult of Chucky, probably. So I'm thinking just after the fact, after those.
So you're saying Bride and Curse or in Seed weren't canon?
That's how I'm thinking of it. How he's going to go about it, because those weren't. He didn't do those.
Well, Jennifer Tilly's in this show.
That's true.
As the same character, I believe.
They're going to have work to do, just like Halloween 2018. The sidewalk scene. Like, let's get this shit out of the way. It's not the brother at all. Actually, that was rumors. So they're going to have some exposition dumping to do pretty early on, and do it right there at the garage sale. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. So how does that? And that doll looks unscathed.
But they've tricked us before with that. There was a fresh paint job on one of it, and it started chipping, and there was the decrepit, gross one underneath. It was him.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's in bits, right? In Seed of Chucky, or Bride of Chucky, and she stitches them back together.
Yeah.
And that's directly off of 3. I think that's how 3 ended.
Yeah.
So, no, it's just a general curiosity. Like, well, if all the ones with Brad doing the voice count because it's him doing the voice, then is this before Curse? Is this like a middle story? Maybe he repossessed a doll that this lady had at a garage sale or something. I don't know.
It seemed like modern times, but I wasn't really looking at that.
Right.
Interesting. I can't wait. Give me some blood and guts on cable television. Give me some swears. I'll watch the one that's after 10 p.m. so I can get those outright books.
Your mom's full of shit.
Yeah, that's what it was. Well, my mom says your mom's full of shit. Fucking great.
Oh, man.
Cannot wait.
It's going to be cool.
Can I talk to the people?
You can.
Okay.
Speak your mind.
Just want to talk to the people because last week you decided to really tease these people. You decided to really tease the next chapter in our podcasting careers.
I did.
I
scared Kayfabe Jim as well.
You scared a bunch of people.
He was like, "Are you stopping the show?"
Good God. People have asked me if we're doing a new name or new format, new platform. The answer, yes, to all of those.
To all of those.
Now, don't freak out for any reason whatsoever, because if you enjoyed this episode right here tonight, this is what the new show is going to be. It's going to be much more horror-based, which makes sense considering who Jim and I are.
Mm-hmm.
We might as well lean into it, Jim. Get a rub from the horror community.
Lean into it. We are the podcast that brought you a 90-minute show about which Jason mask is the best one.
Yeah.
So
we should have known then.
Yeah, I mean, I think our episode 0 was like all horror movie talk. Basically, we talked about Halloween was coming up in the season. It was in October. I had my cousin who makes Freddy gloves on as a guest. I mean, it was in the DNA. It's always been in the DNA. So yeah, we're not going anywhere. Well, we are. No. We're going to Anchor.fm. So we'll be on Spotify. We'll still be on your podcast apps. It will be a new show with a new RSS feed. We'll give you all the info as that comes out. Patreon will still be there. We'll just have a different name, but that won't change. And
some new tiers, some new fun stuff.
New tiers
on that level.
We're gonna close the door but like sort of legacy in the old tiers. I don't want any of that content to go away or change, and we're gonna add some tiers and change some things going forward. But yeah, we're just trying to focus up to find our niche. I've had people tell me, I'm like, oh, you should listen to the show. We talk about blah, blah, blah. Okay. And they're like, cool. And then they listen to another one. Like, you just talked about Halloween for 28 minutes straight on this other one. I'm like, yeah, it happens.
It was a light episode.
Yeah, this is our show. This is what we do. So that is coming. And it's coming soon.
Oh, yeah. The not too distant future. And if that sounds good to you, I cordially invite you to take a drive through the fog past Haddonfield, but before Springwood, and join us in Slasherville.
Population 2.
Bing.
Bing. Yeah.
Numbers ever growing.
Population 2. Yeah, it's gonna be me and Dale still together podcasting like we do, but now there won't be any weird meandering about in other directions, and
a little less wrestling. That's about it.
There will be a little less wrestling, yes, but hey, Tom Savini made a belt. We'll find a way.
Oh, absolutely. Goddamn. CM Punk is back. He was in a horror movie. There it is. I figured it out.
Life finds a way. I'm not gonna do someone else's bit. I almost did it, but it's so good I couldn't resist starting it. Slasherville is coming soon.
Yes, it is.
And you bet your sweet ass, no matter how long it takes in this getting it together stage, you bet your sweet ass that we will be online and rolling long before Halloween Kills.
Oh, absolutely.
There is no way that is not going to be a Slasherville episode.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just kind of want to get moved in, situated in my new condo. Because I don't want to get caught in like an in-between where I'm on the phone. It's one of those phone episodes or some bullshit on like our new show.
Yeah,
I'm calling in.
I watched Saw 2 the other day. It was pretty good.
I bought a bunch of horror DVDs just to spice up the collection a little bit.
Yeah, so the Patreon movie watch-alongs are probably going to be pretty horror-based unless you guys have, some picks, which we always like to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, different but the same. You know how it goes, guys. You know how it goes. So you can still follow on all the ways that you follow. That was a big concern for me, but it looks like the fear not warranted. Unless we use music, then I think it is. You got to check us through Spotify or something. We'll let you know how that works.
We don't need to get into all that today, but there will be a weekly episode that will be an hour long, like there always has been. And if there's any other weird bonus Spotify only episodes, those will be on top of the regular weekly show and not something we do instead of it.
Oh, I'm learning it with the listeners.
Yeah.
Let's get some plugs going and mosey on out. Now that everybody's breathing a nice sigh of relief. My plugs this week are my D&D adventures, because the official D&D Twitter thought that my adventures were worth promoting this week. So they did just that. They promoted 3 Orcs and a Baby on the official D&D Twitter, which caught me a little bit off guard. That was super cool.
That
so
was
go
awesome.
It was pretty awesome. So go see what all the hubbub's about. DMsguild.com. Search Dale Zawada. Done. They're pay what you want. Did you have fun? Throw in some money. Didn't have fun? $0. Fuck me. I understand. I get it. But check them out. DMsguild.com.
Dad Bod just played at One Trick Pony Brewery in Lansing, and it went so well, they want us to host an open mic night the first Wednesday of every month there. So
Ooh,
Dad Bod has another show at One Trick coming up. It's an open mic night. We're not playing the whole night. But if you play music, if you want to sing, if there's a song you know that we play, you can come up and play it with us. That's going to be at One Trick Pony in Lansing from 7 to 11. That's Wednesday, August 4th. But we also have another show in August.
Oh my God, double plugs.
Double plugs. We have another show in August just down the street in Thornton at the Quarry on Friday, August 20th. You can come see Dad Bod live at the Quarry in Thornton, Illinois from 8 to 11.
Damn, I hope you guys are starting to write these down because these dates are piling up.
They're piling up. Things are changing. Things are breaking through. We're killing the game. Slasherville is going to be killing the game.
On it, literally, figuratively.
We're never going to get another question about what's this podcast about?
Is that the wrestling one, bitch?
Who's the clown? Is Dale a clown? And are you both sad?
It is. I thought it was a podcast. What is this radio business?
The character work, at least I was like, okay, I feel like this is about movies in some regard, but not like this. My friend, you know, Matt Novak, I was telling him about Not Like This and how we're changing names and all that. And once he found out that was basically our inside joke that we say to each other, like straight, like out of the Matrix, and Not Like This, he was dying. He's like, me and my brother say that to each other all the time. I'm like, yeah, we just picked that for a podcast name.
This time, we're finally doing it right. None of this, how you describe it, potpourri podcast, potpourri.
Nope.
No, we're focused in our niche, our wheelhouse. I write these fucking horror movies, these scripts. He lives these horror movies. We got it going on. That's going to do it, guys, for episode 186. Ooh, what if 187 is our last one? The murder number.
Oh, that'd be good.
That's going to do it for episode 186. Thank you for listening. You know where I'm going with this, Victor Miller.
And I can't be over here being Chucky if I'm on the show as Chucky.